Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have some self-study courses about manifesting your specific person. And I now have a members-only channel with a lot of perks for members, including weekly live workshops with a different manifesting topic every week, weekly live group coaching, a lot of exclusive content, monthly challenges for a chance to win a free one-on-one coaching session with me, and a lot more. So if you guys are interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website or to the membership channel. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I want to discuss a topic that is relevant to many of you who are manifesting a specific person. And that is, how do I handle setbacks with my specific person? What do I do if my specific person is either hot and cold, or maybe something comes up in the 3D that I wasn't anticipating, or maybe the 3D is showing me the opposite to what I've been manifesting, all sorts of setbacks. And I wanted to make this video because I know many of you have actually been in this situation or are currently dealing with a situation like that. So I wanted to help you get past that. And I wanted to help you get back on track with your state, your mental diet, your inner practice, and so on. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So as I just said in my intro, I know that many of you, I know many of my coaching clients are actually dealing with setbacks or have dealt with setbacks, or maybe their SP came back, but then some of the old story or the entire old story played out again, and people are left wondering, what do I do? Do I need to stop manifesting? Do I need to give up? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something that I'm missing? Why is this thing happening? And so on. So I wanted to make this video today to remind you guys that it is actually very, very common for the new story and the old story to coexist in your reality, in your 3D reality for a while, until the old story goes away for good and the new story just takes over. And the reason why this happens is very, very simple. We always say, and I always tell you in my videos, that your consciousness gets reflected back to you by your 3D. Your 3D, in other words, is a reflection of your dominant consciousness. If you have both the new story in your consciousness because you've been creating it consciously, you've been creating it in imagination, you've been living in it, you've been revisiting the state of the wish fulfilled, obviously that is in your consciousness. At the same time, the old story might not have gone away from your consciousness either entirely or to a big extent. So it is very, very often the case that both the old story and the new story coexist in your consciousness for a while. And so all the setbacks that you might be experiencing are either that old consciousness, that old story still persisting inside of you and still not having gone away from your consciousness and from your awareness. But at the same time, as you're dwelling more on your new story, as you're creating the new story, as you're imagining and intending for your new story, that also starts to take up space in your consciousness. And so it is very, very common that you start seeing movement, as we say, you start seeing something manifesting, you start seeing what you wanted manifesting, and then at the same time, or right after, you see some of the old story again. You experience a setback, or you experience hot and cold, or you experience movement and then the movement stops, and so on. And specific person desires and specific person manifestations are actually no different to that. And if anything, a lot of people tend to have a lot of resistance when it comes to specific person desires. They might have a lot of a backstory, they might have a lot of assumptions that are limiting them. And so it can be even trickier than other desires when you're manifesting an SP to get rid of the old story completely. So what ends up happening is that both stories, both the new and the old story, are playing out together or concurrently or one after the other. So how then do you get rid of the old story? How do you get rid of the old consciousness? The recipe and the secret is always the same. You want to be as focused as possible and you want to keep your attention as much as possible on what you want. You don't want to be reacting so much, especially emotionally, to the 3D. You don't want to be dwelling on those setbacks. Yes, you're going to observe them. I'm not going to say, fool yourself, lie to yourself that they're not there. Sure, you can notice them, you can observe them, but don't give them power over you. Don't give them too much attention. Don't dwell on them so much. Don't take them as something insurmountable and where do I go from there and how do I turn things around from here. Instead, try to stay calm, try to relax, and go back to your imaginal world and your imaginal practice, your inner practice. Go back within and reconstruct the reality that you want, the reality that you're claiming, and the reality that you're choosing for yourself and for your relationship with your SP. And the more you feel it, the more it starts feeling natural within you, the easier it is that the old story is going to be replaced by the new story. The more you dwell on your new reality, the easier you're going to find it to actually expel that old story from your consciousness. The easier you're going to find it not to react to any setbacks that you may experience, not to react to anything that the 3D might be showing you that is not to your liking or to your preference. Sometimes it's also the case that you construct the new story in imagination, it manifests, or you see significant movement, and then you fall back to your old patterns again. You get taken over by your ego again. You start giving in to your fears, your insecurities, your doubts, and then you start seeing the old story again. That is also very, very common. And again, the recipe and the secret to overcome that is to always remember to go back in imagination and in consciousness to what you want. It is a skill, it is something that you need to train yourself to do, but if you want to be a conscious manifestor, it is essential that you do this inner practice, you do this inner work, and you build the habit in your mind to only focus on what you want to see, to only focus on what you want to create, and not on all the unwanted things, not on all the unpleasant things, not on all the setbacks. The mistake a lot of people make is that they experience a setback and then they start overthinking it, they start overanalyzing. They sit down and they talk to their friends about how this could have happened, what happened. They start disbelieving in the whole process of conscious manifesting instead of recognizing that it's actually just a part of their consciousness being pushed out and being shown to them. And instead they start taking it personally, they start taking it so seriously that they give it so much power. They start overthinking, they start overanalyzing, and so what they do is that they establish that setback in their 3D and making it harder to go away. Not necessarily harder, but you are creating extra layers of resistance that you need to overcome in order to go back to your new story. So every time you experience a setback, what you want is to remember to go back to your new story. You want to remember to go back to your new consciousness. You want to remember to go back to the desired reality that you are choosing for yourself and for your SP. So you always want to remember to do that. It's what Neville Goddard also said. Take your mind off of the problem and focus your mind on the solution of the problem. In other words, focus on what you want to experience, what you desire. And once you do that, you are going to see all those setbacks falling away or changing or shifting in one way or another. You are going to be so surprised and you are going to see how your consciousness truly shapes your reality, how your consciousness truly shapes your experiences. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care. And bye-bye.